Okay, welcome students. We will deal with data warehouse implementation concept now, and also we have two more concepts to be finished for this particular chapter: data warehouse implementation, and also for the data warehousing to data mining. That is the OLAM, online analytical mining. So efficient data cube operation computation. So when we implement this particular data warehouse, we should actually understand the how the data cube needs to be computed or how many data cubes we require. So data cube can be viewed as a lattice of cuboids, and a data cube can be viewed as a lattice of cuboids, and the bottom cuboid is a base cuboid. I've already shown you the picture. Yeah, here in this one you can actually, this is the base cuboid or the bottom cuboid, and this is the apex cuboid, and the top cuboid is actually called apex cuboid, and it will contain only one cell. So if we need to compute, that is how many cuboids will be there with an n dimensional cube with L levels. If we have L levels with a particular n dimensional cube, how many number of cuboids will be there? So that can be calculated by this particular formula: I equal to 1 till n pi of, pi means it's a product, okay, product of Li plus 1. That is how many levels are there. For each levels we are actually computing it. That is from I equal to 1 till L we are computing it, and finally we will be getting the number of cuboids. So next one is a materialization of the data cube. Materialization means we are trying to visualize or how many data cubes we require. See, for example, in this particular cuboid, whether we need to take each and every cuboid and then finally do the processing, there may be some dimensions that is not significant or relevant to a particular query. So if in that particular case, the materialization of the cube is there. Materialization of the cube means which all cube we need to materialize, which all cube we need to construct for solving our problem. So there are different types of materialization, means each cuboid needs to be materialized. That is, if you have a particular cuboid, that is data cube is there, each cuboid needs to be materialized. That is called the full materialization. No materialization means, okay, there is no cuboid that we are actually materializing, no materialization. Next one is some materialization or the partial materialization. We can actually put some query and tell that, okay, these many cubes only need to be materialized for efficient processing of our or solving of our problem. So materializing cuboid means we need to select the cuboids. The full thing which we need to select means it's full materialization. Partial materialization means which cuboid we need to select, that we need to decide. So the selection of the cuboids will be cuboids to be materialized is based on the size, sharing, then access frequency and all, etc. Now cube definition. See, I have already told you regarding the DMQL with which we will do the computation. So here, how can you compute that particular, perform computation on that particular data cube? So here defining cube, I have already mentioned this one. Define cube, sales, item, these are the dimensions. This is the cube name, data cube name, sales, item, city, year, and here this is the measure, that is the sum in dollars, sales in dollars, and that too we need to put the sum. So compute cube sales, this is the computation which we need to do. So when we actually convert the same thing into an SQL language, what is happening is here, select item, city, year, sum of that amount from sales, cube by item, city and year. So this is something like a group by operation. Select item, city, year, sum and amount from sales, group by, either you can group by item, either you can group by city, either you can group by year, or also the combination of this thing. Cube by will give you the combination of these dimensions also. So for a group by operation, what you need to compute is, you need to actually compute it for Okay, here this is not actually, here this is for data and product. So here actually we need to put the group by so city, item and year, city and year, item and year, city and item, city, item and year separately. So like that, and finally the all operation. So these are the group bys we need to compute. So here we can understand that if a particular query is there, with respect to, see a query, suppose you have a query like you have a, what is the, okay, what is the sales, that is what is the profit actually happened for a particular product, for a particular product, for a particular date, or see, for a particular product A, what is actually the profit of the product A for the last 3 months. So if you are taking into consideration in that query or in that particular solving, there the customer is not relevant, because we need the sales, we don't need the numbers or anything, we need only the profit for the last 3 months. So here in this particular case we need to only profit and also the date. So there the dimension customer becomes not a significant one. So based on the query which we have, we need to actually, based on the query we have to actually put the, based on the query, we have to select which all dimensions we need to select for processing that operation. Next one is the iceberg cube. So iceberg, what is actually an iceberg cube? Hope all of you have heard of that particular Titanic sinking into the whole ocean, right? The Titanic ship sinking. See, it touched into an iceberg. Actually, they thought that the ice is very, it is not a very huge one, but the iceberg was very huge. See, what we have to see is, in this particular case iceberg cube means you have you have to compute only those cuboid cells whose count or the aggregate satisfying some minimum support value or some minimum condition or some threshold, because even see, there may be so many not relevant cubes also there which we don't want to compute also. So iceberg cube is like we need to compute only those cuboid cells whose count or the aggregates which satisfy some conditions, like having count star greater than or equal to some minimum support value. Why we have come up with such an assumption is, or such a concept is, only a small portion of cubes may be above the water and a sparse cube. So whenever you need to solve a particular problem or analyze a particular problem, try to calculate only the interesting cells that also, that should be actually having an, that cuboid should actually pass above, that should actually fall above the threshold value, that is a minimum support value. If a cuboid is like that, then only you calculate that particular cuboid, otherwise leave that thing. So in such a case of computation, we can actually avoid the explosive growth of the cube. That is, if we have 100 dimension and only base cell, so many cubes need to be constructed. So we can actually reduce the dimension also, and also we can reduce the, we can only take the relevant cuboids which we require for processing or solving our problem, or for using it for our analysis purposes. Next one is indexing. Indexing is very important. Why we need indexing is a fast access of the data. See, we have already discussed that data warehouse is actually a an historical data. So many data will be there. So whenever we fetch a particular data or retrieve a particular data after giving a query, it takes a lot of time to fetch the data. So it will be good if you could actually index that particular data. There are two types of indexing. First one is a bitmap indexing and the second one is a join indexing. First one is the index on a particular column. You have, in a bitmap index, what you need to do is you will actually index on a particular column. Each value in the column has got a bit vector, and the bit operation is very fast also. So the bit length of the bit vector represents the number of records in the base table. So here, and this type of bitmap index is not suitable for a very high cardinality, because if the number of data or records is huge, then you cannot, it's not a very good method to do. But if the cardinality or the number of rows records is minimum, this will be a good approach to do. So suppose, okay, you can see this particular base table here. In this particular base table, you have the different customers, that is 5 different customers are there, and region is also there, different regions are there, and also the type, that is either retail or dealer is there. Okay, and also what you have to do is you need to construct an index, a bitmap index based on the region and also based on the type. So here it will be like this. So whenever we make an index on the region, so here it will be the record ID, here it will be the record ID, here it will be the so all the details or all the entries that is actually made in the region, that needs to be actually listed as a column here. And if a particular Asia is coming, then you give 1, otherwise you give 0. See in the customer 1, so here we can actually put it like record 1, record 2 up till record 5. Even Asia is there, so in C1, okay, Asia is there, so we can give 1, then no Europe, and so when Europe is there you can actually put 1, then Asia is there you can actually put 1. So similar to that actually, you can actually put an index on the type also, whether it's a whether customer 1, whether the customer C1, C2, whether customer is a retail or dealer. Next one is a joint indexing, that is the join indexing. So join indexing is similar to our join operation itself, where we try to join different indexes, that is join different dimension table, and then we will actually do that particular indexing. So in this particular picture you can actually see that the record ID is there, and also the record ID is there, and also the sales ID is there. So you are actually trying to actually put a join operation of the record ID and the SID, sales ID. So traditional indices map a list of values to your record IDs. So it materializes the relational join in this particular JI file. So whenever we do this indexes, it will actually speed up the join process, and also the retrieval also will be. So here what we do is, in data warehouses, join index relates to the values in the dimensions of a star schema to the rows in the fact table. Okay, so whenever we in data warehouses we join, we perform the join index. So what we do is, we will actually the join index relates the values of the dimension table of a star schema to the rows in the fact table. So fact table will be having a 2 dimension, that is sales will be the fact table, and the dimension, that is city and the product. So a join index on the city maintains for each distinct city list of record IDs of the tuples which is recording the sales in the cities. So join indexing, you can actually join different multiple dimensions also. So that is a good thing in this. Okay, this one actually, okay, this slide should come before the materialization thing. I couldn't actually put that there. So we will actually, after discussing the indexing operations, that is the join operations and the bitmap indexing, join indexing and bitmap indexing, we will actually go to the efficient processing of OLAP queries. So here I've already told you that the cube materializations I have told you, that is the full materialization of the cuboids and partial materialization of the cuboids. So here you can actually determine which operation should be performed on the available cuboids, that is whether you can actually perform a roll up operation, roll down operation, drill up, drill down, select, then dice or select, pivot or rotate, anything you can actually select. So this is this particular concept is based on the efficient processing of OLAP queries. That is, you can only take the significant dimensions to perform in that particular querying. Otherwise, if the dimension is not significant, or if it is irrelevant, you only take the dimension that is relevant for solving a particular problem. So here, determine which materialized cuboids, this is the query, okay. So determine which materialized cuboid should be selected for this particular OLAP operation. So the query will be like this: that the query be processed on brand, province or state with the condition 2004, and there are 4 materialized cuboids available. That is year, item name, city, year, brand, city, year, brand, province or state, item name, province or state, where year equal to 2004. So which should be selected to process this particular query? So here, see, it's very straightforward, or it's very clear that whichever dimensions we need to consider, that is brand, province or state, and also year equal to 2004. So the best thing that needs to be selected will be, what should be selected? Brand is not there. Anyway, we need to actually select this one. You have to take this one, that is year, brand, province or state, okay. That you need to actually put, and from that particular brand, you can actually put the item name, okay. From that item name, you can again process the 4th one. So 3rd and 4th will be the relevant queries that needs to be processed here. So next one is data warehousing to data mining. Till now we were dealing with data warehousing, the OLAP operations, then the 3-tier architecture of the data warehouse. Now we will actually see how this particular data mining is related to data warehousing. Till now we were actually dealing with data mining as a separate entity and the data warehouse as a separate entity. So now we will actually club these things. That is, how can we perform efficient data mining using a data warehousing. So data warehouse usage, we have 3 important data warehouse usages are there. First one is the information processing, second one is analytical processing, and the third one is the data mining. So information processing is the basic one, that is, it supports the querying, basic statistical analysis and reporting. So that we all know, that is basic things, that is information processing. Next one is the analytical processing, which we were dealing for the past 2-3 sessions. That is a multi-dimensional analysis of the data warehouse, then OLAP operations, and the multi-tier data warehouse architecture and all. The third important data warehouse application is data mining. That is, from the data warehouse we try to perform the data mining operation. Data mining is nothing but we try to discover the knowledge from the hidden data or hidden patterns. We try to uncover the data from the hidden patterns. So we will actually try to support or try to find out the associations, construct the analytical models, perform classification, prediction, and also presenting the different mining results using the visualization tool. That is, we will try to incorporate data warehouse to support the data mining operation, and finally visualizing that. So now we will actually deal with from OLAP, that is online analytical processing. We are actually going into one step ahead, that is online analytical mining. So why online analytical is needed is, you have very good quality of data in data warehouses. That is, a data warehouse consists of the integrated, subject-oriented, consistent, cleaned data. So whenever we process the informations using the data warehouses, you have so many facilities. That is, you can actually ODBC, that is open database connectivity, then different other OLEDB, that is linking, embedding, then database connectivity, then web accessing, different tools are there, okay. Then OLAP based exploratory data analysis is there based on the OLAP operation, that is drilling, dicing, then rolling, pipetting, etc. And also online selection of the data mining functions are there. So it would be good if you could perform the online analytical mining. Till now what we were doing is we were doing the analytical processing. Now the analytical processing is actually raised to another level, that is analytical mining. So from OLAP it becomes when it incorporates with the data mining, it will become the OLAP, that is OLAM, online analytical mining. Now we will deal with the OLAM system architecture. OLAM system architecture is this one. We have this is also multi-tiered architecture. Finally, in the layer 1, you can actually see that the different data repositories there, databases, and also data warehouses there. So here the heterogeneous databases are there. So we actually do the ETL, extract, transform, and load, and finally we will load the data, the cleared data, that is cleaned data, integrated data to the data warehouse, and here filtering will be there. So this is actually MDDB, that is multi-dimensional database or data cube. So here the data cube operations will be there, multi-dimensional database, and here it will be the metadata. So this particular, all the details of the multi-dimensional database will be dealt in this particular the metadata here, and here it will be the data cube API. Here it is actually the database application processing interface, that is, and here you have two different engines, that is OLAP engine as well as the OLAM engine. That is, there is like a module for online analytical processing as well as there is another module for online analytical mining. So these two modules will interact with each other. So these will be interacting with each other, and finally when a mining query is there, it will actually process this particular query. It will take the details, what all thing is needed from this particular data warehouse. It will actually move on to here after doing the analytical and after doing the analytical processing. It is actually fed to that particular online mining result. Okay, after mining the result, it will actually give it to this particular portion. So mining query. So mining query means it's a problem that needs to be solved, or analysis that we need to be done. So the analysis is performed based on the online analytical mining as well as the online analytical processing engines, and finally we will be getting the results. So here we have different 4 layers. First one is the data repository layer. Second one is MDDB, that is a multi-dimensional database layer. Third one is the OLAP or OLAM layer, and the fourth one is the user interface layer. So even though in the syllabus it is not mentioned, but since this OLAM comes on the data warehousing, it is there for your syllabus. It is there prescribed in your syllabus. So these are the, now we'll come to an end to this particular module. That is, we have seen so many things, that is the data warehouse, then data warehouse, multi-dimensional data model, data warehouse and architecture, data warehouse implementation, then OLAP to OLAM. So these are the summary of the things which we have covered. That is why data warehousing is there. Then the multi-dimensional data model, that is the data cube. It's the heart of the data warehouse, that is a data cube. Then star schema, snowflake schema, fact constellation, and how a data cube is represented, that is the dimensions and measures, OLAP operation, drilling, rolling, slicing, dicing, pivoting, the different, the multi-tiered data warehouse architecture, the different types of OLAP servers, that is relational OLAP, then multi-dimensional OLAP, and also the hybrid OLAP, which is a combination of ROLAP and MLAP. Then efficient computation of the data cubes, that is a partial materialization, full materialization or non-materialization of the data cuboids, indexing, then OLAP query processing, and finally from OLAP to OLAM. So these slides have been taken from the textbooks that reference Jia, Han and Kemper. So these are the references. So thank you so much. Hope you have understood the concepts.